talking a little bit about Corpus Christi today, though I'm sure you've been talking about Corpus Christi quite a quite a bit, right?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
It's what about been like 2 years?
Last few months were a little bit calmer. There were other topics to discuss.
Right. Yeah. It's been weird times, huh?
Films. Yeah.
Very strange times. So you probably finished Corpus Christi sometime in 2018?
Yeah. The premiere was 2018, 2 years ago.
Wow.
Almost precisely 2 years ago. We were just finishing shooting, I think. Nice. No, we were in the middle, right in the middle.
Yeah.
15 days after, 16th of May.
Wow. Well, congratulations. I mean, you've had a crazy amount of success with that. I know this is your first lead role, correct, in a film? Yeah,
this big and this kind of lead role and this much of focus on the character. It's the first one.
So, well, I'm curious how that success is affecting you. You know, going from, I know you did a lot of theater work, and then some more supporting roles, and now you have this film that your first lead role. So you won the Shooting Star Award. It's nominated for an American Oscar, and I think I read you guys did really well in the Polish Academy, correct?
Oh yeah, we got the record.
You swept. You took everything.
11, I think.
Wow.
Probably. I'm not sure now, but I think 11 stages. But anyway, it's the most beautiful thing for me from all this journey was that our film got to many different places, and a lot of people watched it, and it brought a lot of attention towards our story that we wanted to say. So that's what left out of it.
Yeah. What attracted you to that story the most? I definitely personally connected with. I loved the idea of somebody kind of beating the system, somebody who is, Daniel was so qualified in a sense and wanted to be there so bad in front of the people, and the only thing stopping him was the system. And I love stories like that. I love filmmakers who don't go to film school and things like that. What attracted you to that, and what made you do such a good job connecting to that character?
For the second question, I'm not sure if I have an answer. It just it happened. It happened just simply. But I don't know. As you said, there is this very interesting need and hunger in those kind of characters that they are from outside of the world that they are coming to. It's a complicated character, but in the core very simple. He just wants to do what's right from the point that he did wrong.
Right.
So, but I'm not sure. The whole story was interesting. I really was interested in this kind of breaking point in this character, that he starts to believe that he is who he is, and the complete how full human being he was,
love that,
without judgment of the person. He wasn't bad, he wasn't good, he was just a human being trying to do some things,
right?
And that some good and some bad things to happen at his life. So maybe that's the power of this character, and that's the power of the story. In the whole, like a tailish, let's say, genre of this film.
Yeah, I love the way the scenes are treated. We know when he is drinking with his other friend from juvie, or when he's smoking with the kids on the dock. Those scenes are treated the same way that the scenes in the church are treated. It's the way it's directed. It really just allows you to view him as a person instead of trying to depict him, a specific way, which I love. So with that success, do you feel kind of pressure to follow that up with another just insane performance? I know you have a couple projects coming, or is it more like freeing for you?
Yeah, there's a pressure, but I'm not putting it on me by myself.
Yeah.
I'm just focusing. There will always be probably some voices that will compare any other work to this one on the other to the others. That's always happening. But I'm excited for upcoming projects. We're already developing one, which hopefully we will shoot during summer, June, July, August.
Prime time?
It's a prime time, yeah.
Excellent.
Which is very, very intense, very interesting story about a guy who's breaking into TV. He's taking 2 hostages, security guy and girl who presents some stuff in TV.
Yeah.
And he wants to say something. And he just wants to spread some news and some message, and we don't know what. So that's very interesting to work on this kind of topic right now.
Yeah, of course. That sounds really exciting. It's crazy times, especially over here in America and everywhere with the pandemic.
Yeah, I've read a lot. I was watching a lot of videos and a lot of materials from all over the States. Especially that I was visiting your country for the first time like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
5 months ago.
A whole different country now, almost. I mean, just
whole different.
It just feels way different now. Right.
But it wasn't for me. It wasn't so different. There's also that outsider's point of view, like Daniel in the film had. What was striking for me in Los Angeles, that's so many homeless people on the streets, so many of them being veterans, so many of them losing their houses because of the debt, inner problems all the time ongoing. I saw it and I felt it there. So I wasn't surprised that it exploded in that way.
You're 100% right. I wonder, tying that into film, it seems like so many more films outside of America do such a better job of depicting that the issue with class and the economy. American films don't really deal with that too much. And even Corpus Christi, it's not a direct comparison to that, but he is dealing in a small town where these people are struggling with their grief.
Trauma, yeah, and someone excluded out of community. Which is important. And sometimes we need this outsider to just point our problems.
Right. So I'm sure you guys were on a small lockdown. I read that, in Poland, you're coming out of the lockdown soon from the pandemic. Is that right?
Yeah, soon.
Has that affected your projects so far, the films you're working on?
No, it's for me it was weird because I just finished everything, almost everything what I had to do, just 1 week before the whole lockdown of the country. So I was basically on vacation.
Wow.
So I decided to move to the countryside, and I've spent the last 2 months in my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
In the really far east part of Poland, like next to the border with Belarus. So it was very interesting to just jump out of the whole, let's call it smaller word season, right to the forest.
Right.
I'm still there.
As I hear the birds chirping in the background and everything, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Here there's a tree that I have a woodpecker on.
That's awesome.
He's come visit me a few times a day, and here I'm building.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Is that gonna be a little greenhouse?
Yeah, a greenhouse.
Heck yeah!
For my tomatoes.
Excellent. That's funny. My wife and I, we planted a tomato plant outside, and we have these ferns, and these birds are building a nest, and I went to move it because I didn't want them to be scared. And as I looked in the nest, there were 3 eggs that already hatched. Now I have 3 baby birds growing on my porch. I know that feeling.
Happens.
It's great. So, sorry, I have just a couple other questions. We kind of talked about that pressure going forward. Are you? I read it or listened to you in another interview, and you mentioned how coming from theater, you like to be more involved in the making of the films.
Yeah.
first question: how involved were you kind of creating the character and working on that, the story of Corpus Christi? And second question: do you have any like interest in directing and writing yourself one day?
We had a huge influence on the script, especially with Piotr Sobociński, DOP. We just sat one day in the room and just went through the whole script. We were trying to find the weak points from the version that we got. Put some our imagination and feelings about the characters, how it's changing the whole story. So basically, we overdid the whole script through the week, and then there was another version. And then while working on set, we were basically every night and every day just right before first take of the day, we were changing the script and we were improvising. A lot of things in our films improvised or thought before the take. Mayor, the scene with Pinter when we were drinking with this buddy from Jupi, that was almost like 20% scripted of that.
Really? Wow. That was a fantastic scene. That's the one I kind of visited the most. And do you one day plan on writing or directing something yourself?
You would like to drink with us?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would love to. Yeah,
and do some lines of methadone.
I don't know. I might leave that part out, but definitely.
We had a whiskey. But anyway, that was the scene that that magic's happening. Like that you're capturing something a little bit real, or there was a lot of fun filming it. There was it was happening there, and we knew it. So, asking your other questions, if I have any interest in directing or in writing, there's a lot of actors have this dream, and I sometimes feel it in myself of breaking into your own, reclaiming your own will in this creative process. Because being an actor, you can be involved in a whole process. You can be involved in writing. You can co-write something. You sometimes co-direct or direct something that you play in, that it's a different kind of story. Still, I think it's you're used as a tool, and you need to surrender to that place on the set that you're in. There's a lot of actors really bitching around or fighting for their freedom on set, but in the end of the day, they are saving to the vision of someone else. So there's always this dream of creating your whole, your own whole world, which is. But I don't know. I'm busy right now.
Yeah, you're good. Right.
I'm good. If there will be a story that I would need to tell, you need to feel the need of bringing this whole thing to people, because making a film it's so hard. There's so many people around it. You need to move earth and sky to just find a producer.
Right. I had a dream of being a filmmaker a few, when I was 21, 22 years old, and we made one movie. It cost like $10,000, and I was like, I never want to do this again. It was fun to try, and that was good.
Yeah. So you need to have this whole strong will, this big fire burning inside of you. Right. And I have a little candle.
Yeah. Love that. So I just have a couple more questions, and I don't want to keep too much of your time. One.
Don't worry, I have plenty.
You get that greenhouse to build too.
Yeah.
So looking at this, now that you've kind of had the success and you're on an international level, it's interesting. I'm here in Savannah, Georgia, which we're doing an interview, which is kind of, I'm sure, a long way from just doing theater. Do you have any?
Sorry, the biggest city from you, I can recall, it's Atlanta.
That's the closest city to me. Yep.
Yeah, the Jacksonville, it's somewhere over there.
Yeah. I'm from Jacksonville originally, but I'm right there, kind of in the middle. Savannah's it's a smaller little tourist town, but it gets a lot of films shoot here. A lot of films are made here. It's actually a city. Speaking of your drinking and whiskey, I got to ask, because this is a city that is very much built on cocktails and booze. What is your go-to? What's your go-to drink or kind of spirit?
Mezcal.
Mezcal? Oh yeah, love mezcal.
Always mezcal.
Love mezcal. Any cocktails you drink specifically, or
sour?
Oh yeah, mezcal sour. Love that. Yeah, we've got some mezcal over here. So if you ever make it to the States, we'll make sure to have some set aside for you.
Love to. I would love to visit the States like in a proper way, just travel around, because it's a beautiful continent with an amazing nature. But the furthest I could go while promoting Corpus Christi, it was Palm Springs and Joshua Tree Park. So I enjoyed that.
That's a fun little area too.
It's a little bit of hiking around LA.
LA in itself is kind of a hike. That's I lived there when I was younger. It's a fun city. It's just the traffic, man. Boy.
Yeah, but we were walking everywhere. That was funny.
Yeah.
Like we thought, we were thinking and asking people how to get from one place to another by foot, and they were like, "You don't have a car." It was pretty weird for everyone. But we had a beautiful hike on New Year's Eve with my girlfriend. We went from Hermosa Beach to Santa Monica, which is almost 13, 16 miles.
Oh wow!
That was nice.
That's crazy. Do you ever have any interest in? Are there any American directors that you would ever like to work with? Like anybody specifically that you would just
always Charlie Kaufman and David Lynch, those two.
Oh, love David Lynch.
They're amazing. They're amazing. From Americans.
Yeah.
Hey.
Those are the ones.
Later. David Lynch, always, since I saw the first his films like The Lost Highway or Mulholland Drive.
Blue Velvet's a great one.
Those are films that shaped me, but then Twin Peaks happened in my life and I fell in love. Which is, it's amazing. It's an amazing piece of art, and Twin Peaks forever.
Of course.
And Charlie Kaufman for his writing.
Yeah.
Obviously his films, but also for his writing. I think his tenderness and how to put it, love for the detail of human nature and those little fragile moments of people behaviors. It's so beautiful. It's so touching always.
Excellent. So you're really connected to those very deeply personal stories, where somebody kind of goes on a journey, and I love that. Definitely love to see some films over here. What kind of, if somebody's looking,
early works of Harmony Korine.
Was that?
Early works of Harmony Korine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh gosh, love Harmony Korine. I'm a big fan. I think. Have you seen Spring Breakers? I know that's one of his later works, but Spring Breakers is
Spring Breakers is great.
It's so underrated here. I mean, it's of the last decade. That's
really,
I think a lot of people took it on face value instead of kind of diving into what he's saying and what he's showing. But that film is one of my favorites of the past decade, and it does not get a lot of love.
That was very, very interesting.
And you have Gummo and Kids are just fantastic works. So if somebody's looking to get into more films from Poland, obviously Corpus Christi, fantastic, must watch. What else would you recommend? What are some films that people, if somebody's looking to just get into some more films and watch more Polish cinema, what would you recommend?
That's a good question. Obviously classics, but like Kieślowski or Żuławski. Żuławski is amazing. unfortunately he's dead for the last few years. Yeah, but his works were extraordinary, with the fantasy and the kind of the film language that you can't see anywhere. But what would I recommend in Polish films recent, for example? I think for sure The Last Family or I'm a God, The Silent Night.
Okay.
There were films that pretty great.
Excellent. Some good ones to check out. What have you been watching during the quarantine since you've been at your grandmother's house? Any great films you've watched? Or?
Yeah, we got stuck to The Wire recently.
Oh, so good.
We are finishing the third season right now.
It's
shit.
That's fantastic. As we've on our podcast, we've been doing Spike Lee movies, which just love Spike Lee, and the film he had, Clockers, which is very underrated, but it's written by Richard Price, who was one of the creators of The Wire. So it's interesting. You have the Wire kind of story told through Spike Lee lens, and then I love that shit. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy film, and we've watched Boudreau. Recently, we're doing some reruns of the old films, but it's under the sign of The Wire. I would say The Wire.
Yeah, that's a great watch. Do you watch a lot of television? Do you find yourself kind of going more towards movies or television, or does it really matter? Does it just depend on the work itself?
There is no anymore. It's not divided for me as for television or films.
Yeah,
it's the way that people decided to make a story. I can't recollect exact words, but I've heard once that David Lynch said that TV is the future of cinema, and he was right, because who would think in his life that we would be able to get stuck into the story for 8 hours straight,
right?
That we can with TV series.
Oh yeah,
forcing anyone to watch Satan Tango of Bellatar in one sit for 6 hours. People were making fun of it, but they are sitting for 8 and 9 watching some, I don't know, RuPaul Drag Race,
right?
Which I think is wonderful still,
of course,
but you can do it, and it's pretty repetitive. But so I don't know. What would be like? What I like is what's it just simply touches me and takes me to the story. Sometimes I'm watching a film because I want to feel something or want to go through the story. Sometimes I'm watching it for the entertainment, and sometimes I just got involved with the characters, and I love to spend time with them like family. So there's a lot of reasons to watch beautiful stuff.
I love that. I need to learn from that, because I'm in the same boat in the sense, I loved The Night Of, I love The Wire, When They See Us. Sorry, my dog and my cat are fighting over here. Paul, come here, buddy. Sorry. But yeah, I've loved those, but especially over the past year or so, there's just so much good cinema that I've kind of been avoiding everything TV, because I would rather spend those 10 hours watching 5 movies. But then there are some stories that are just so good. And I'm really interested to see how many films go to television, because it also seems like that's kind of where the money is at now. It's more profitable to have a 4 to 10 hour miniseries than it is a film. And I wonder how that kind of affects filmmaking going forward.
The nice thing is for sure that there's a lot of emerging talents, and it's easier to get into the spotlight,
right,
thanks to the streaming platforms. We've learned about a lot of interesting actors and artists through that. So probably there would be forced to do some indie movies for 2 decades, and then do some kind of bigger thing to bigger thing to just be spotted. Now they can do a very interesting, experimental in genre, little TV series, and they would be streamed on Netflix, and tons of people would love it. So
right,
that's democratization of this media. But I don't know. Let's see. That's interesting. I think going to films, will be the same as it is. I'm not talking about pandemic. It's someday, right. Because it's an experience. We call it collective experience, as we have with theater. You like to go and to sit with other people and feel while watching something. And that's way different than doing it on your couch.
Of course.
I think. Because I know I cry on movies. Like I do.
You have to.
I cry a lot.
It's weird not to.
But it's such a beautiful feeling to feel so emotional in cinema.
Yeah.
Not out of your home, just oh my God, something's happening. But you're feeling this, and you're crying out loud in the end of the screening. And the lights turns on, and there are other people doing the same.
Right.
That's beautiful.
There's definitely certain movies that the energy of the people around you can affect the whole experience. That's kind of what we do with our cinema. We do a lot of pop-ups, so we'll go on a rooftop and show a movie, or we'll go here and there, and it's a lot of fun kind of just going to different places, but you still keep that experience because, obviously with the pandemic, of course, changing things and people already moving towards video on demand, it does seem like the movie theater experience is going to be changed for sure. But you can't take away that experience of watching with people.
Yeah.
So my very last question for you, because I know we've been talking for a minute. I know you still have a love for theater. I'm sure that's where you began acting. Pretty much anything you read about Bartosz says that you started with The Little Prince when you were young. Do you see this success of film taking you away from the theater more, or is that something that you're always going to be going back to?
It can probably happen because, of time.
Of course.
Theater consumes a lot of time. Mm-hmm. A lot of time. Because, first of all, you need to prepare performance, which is more or less 3 months of everyday rehearsals.
Right.
A lot of time.
And that's sometimes how long it takes just to shoot a movie.
Yeah. It's like, in Poland, it takes approximately 30 days.
Really?
That's a feature.
Wow.
30 days, yeah.
You guys just go for it.
It's that.
So you think it'll take you away a little bit, but you still have that love there, huh?
Yeah, as I said many times, it keeps me ready. It keeps me in shape as an actor at practice. Especially that I love it, that I work in a place that I love and I like to work in. I'm not forced to do anything that I don't want to, and I work with people that are inspiring, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
So it won't take me as far. Let's see what the future brings. Now we can't do theater at all.
Yeah, that's crazy. It'll still be. That'll probably bring out a lot of good art. People just waiting to, just all these ideas
and
boiling up.
A lot of bad.
Man,
there's so much shit in the internet. So bad.
Yeah, I've had to stay off, especially here with all these protests and riots. It's hard to even go on my phone without just seeing, just going through the rabbit hole of just darkness. It's bad.
Yes, but I don't mean like this protest because people need to inform and communicate. I mean this period when the lockdown started and everyone started posting.
Yeah. Yeah.
All their productivity, all their lives just went straight to the internet to compensate and to take care of everything else except themselves. So there was a lot of bad art, but it's in this lockdown, hopefully a few good screenplays would be written, and a lot of great stories out of isolation will be born.
I look forward to it. I do look forward to it. Well, I said I really appreciate your time. Obviously, again, I know you're way past Corpus Christi, but it's made its way to our audience, and so far, since we've done the virtual cinema, people are loving Corpus Christi over here. That's been our biggest film. So
it's on. You're putting it online. You can buy tickets and see it online.
Correct. Yep, it's on our virtual cinema still for another 2 or 3 weeks before it finally goes like on demand and stuff. So yeah, that's why I said it's funny. You've been done with it for so long, and it's just now kind of starting to make its name here. But nonetheless, but congratulations on that. Seriously, I'm very much looking forward to prime time. And I did see you had another film that's been in post production. Is it good one?
What? One more time?
Is it? I have to look. I forgot the title. Magenta.
Magnesia.
Magnesia. Sorry, I was like I couldn't find the name. So that one's coming out this year.
Yeah, I had a very small part there, very funny one.
Yeah, I know. I haven't heard you talk too much about it, so I didn't think it was on the same level as Primetime will be. But I'm very much looking forward to that.
It's not.
We don't have to talk about it.
It's fun, but it's still fun.
Excellent. Well, if you ever make it to Savannah, Georgia, man, we'll have some mezcal waiting for you.
Nice.
And when you finish The Wire, we'll maybe want to chat about it. I absolutely love The Wire. It's one of the few TV shows I do visit quite often. But again,
thank you, man, for the talk.
Of course, it was a pleasure.
Bye.
You take it easy, and good luck on your greenhouse. And tell the grandmother we all say hello.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.